So I'm here on what is turning out to be a very nice day in Puerto Varas, Chile, with at the Cosmic Streams in the Era of Rubin conference, which deals with transient events in the sky, which the new telescope up there, which should be online by 2025, is going to detect. And I've been speaking with a postdoctoral planetary scientist at Las Cumbres Observatory in Santa Barbara. Is that correct?
Yes.
And your specialty is comets.
Yes.
And so how will, and also solar system bodies. And heretofore, I would venture the guess that most of the talks here are on supernova, one sort or one kind or the other. And so you were kind of in the minority, but you're doing important work.
Thank you.
And your talk is on Friday, but tell us, what you hope to gain from the LSST, the Vera Rubin.
Yeah. So I am personally interested in the whole order of magnitude of more objects than we have now. The discovery of new comets, new asteroids, new objects in the Kuiper belt beyond Neptune, just a lot more objects. And for me, my interest is in distant comets, so I'm really excited for the more distant discoveries that we're also going to get.
And the Oort cloud comets.
So
tell people what the Oort cloud is.
Yeah, so the Oort cloud is a spherical reservoir of comets, about like halfway to the closest star.
So it's that halfway. So Proxima Centauri is the nearest star, 4.2 light years away in the Alpha Centauri system. And you're saying this Oort cloud stretches from what?
Stretches from about 20,000 AU to about like 100,000, maybe more. Yes, AU from the sun. And 1 AU is the distance between the Earth and the sun.
The average distance between the Earth and the sun. And for reference, Pluto, which is a hell of a long way out there, is at 39 AU, give or take.
Right. So we can't actually see the Oort cloud directly because it's so far away, but there are comets that come from the Oort cloud. They're pushed inward from passing stars, and when they come in towards the inner solar system, we get to observe them.
And so how is LSST, and I mean, LSST is going to report about 10 million transient events or alerts each day or each night. That's amazing.
Yep.
And you guesstimated, I'm not going to hold you to it.
we're going to be like one of the main goals out of the 4 main goals of LSST solar system objects are one of them. We will be getting a lot of alerts, and this is not just
several 100,000 per day.
And this is not just new objects too. Like there will be we'll be observing objects that have already been discovered too.
And so, why is it important to study these Oort cloud comets? What does that tell us about the solar system?
The Oort cloud comets are, we think, some of the most pristine objects in our solar system. They're holding ices that, from when they were first formed, because they were ejected into the Oort cloud shortly after they formed. And so because of that, because they're so far away and not affected by the sun very much, when we observe these comets, we're essentially observing these materials that helped form the solar system. So we have an idea of where we came from, how the solar system came to be to what it is today.
And from a planetary defense standpoint, these comets are in very high inclination orbits, which take them very near to the sun. But it also takes these comets into the inner solar system, potentially on Earth-crossing orbits, correct? So you're going to take us from 3,000 known comets by the end of LSST's operation, I guess,
right,
over a 5-10 year period. You're going to triple that to 10,000 comets.
That's the hope.
And then take us from 20,000 known near-Earth asteroids to 200 10,000, was that it?
I think so. Yeah, it's a whole order. Yeah, about 10 times at least.
10 times the known number. I mean, that's an incredible amount. So I just have to ask you, we discussed this about the film Don't Look Up.
Right.
Because you are a postdoc and you're about the age of the Jennifer Lawrence character, who I don't think she was necessarily in that film. I don't think she was necessarily a planetary scientist, but she was a postdoc working with the Leonardo DiCaprio character at a telescope, and they happened upon a high inclination comet of the sort which is your expertise.
Right.
And so how realistic was Don't Look Up?
As far as an object, a larger object that we are not expecting, a comet, like that would definitely be one of them, because they come from, unlike other near-Earth asteroids that have we've been observing them for a while, we can track them, we can track their orbit very far into the future and know that it's not going to impact Earth, whereas the comets would be new. However, it is a very, 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 very rare that a comet would hit us. We should be spending our time more focused on trying to catalog the near-Earth asteroids that we know, because it is that much unlikely.
But how did you view the film in terms of how the information was presented? Was it pretty accurate? Is that how, if for instance, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if astronomers at Las Cumbres discovered such a comet, is that how it would play out? Is there a protocol?
Yeah, so exactly. When you discover a new object, you send your findings to called the Minor Planet Center, and they're the ones that give your object, your asteroid or comet, a designation. And we say, okay, this is a real object, has to be confirmed. And so this is one of the things LSST is going to be doing, is sending their information to the Minor Planet Center. And then from there, you have people, like I think you said the NEOCP we were talking about earlier, that start to do modeling of their orbits into the future and see how close it might come to the Earth in the future. So we can and then that'll tell us if we need to get more observations to confirm that it's definitely not going to hit us or things like that. But as far as the different, the reporting methods, and also we do have the Department of Planetary Defense Office. We do have that. NASA does have a Planetary Defense Coordination Office, a headquarters in Washington, D.C.
Right.
So that exists, and those people, not the same people use the same names, but they would be the liaison in that instance if something were to be on track to hit her.
And let's just hope that in the event that such a real threat develops, that everybody takes it much more seriously than they did in the film. At the beginning.
Well, I think it's another with everybody would be observing these objects, and whenever there's a lot of these new targets, so even amateur astronomers, a bunch of different telescopes are observing it and can confirm everybody else. So it's not one person knows something that nobody else knows. It's where everybody's working on it together.
In the film, that was probably a little bit of exaggeration
right.
for dramatic effect.
Yes.
But anyway, thank you so much, Carrie Holt, Las Cumbres Observatory, for talking to us here. Fascinating stuff and important work, and we look forward to hearing more from you and colleagues when the LSST is actually up and running. But you're still doing a lot of transient work from other telescopes,
right.
So we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.